This week on ANN, the Adventist Church in the Caribbean responds to the devastation of Tropical Storm Erika.
Adventist Community Services in the U.S. state of California sets up a fundraiser for residents displaced by wildfires.
And a Seventh-day Adventist University in Germany offers free language courses to refugees.
These stories and more coming up.
This is ANN, a service of the Seventh-day Adventist World Church. Thanks so much for joining us this week.
First in the news, a tropical storm recently devastated the small Caribbean island nation of Dominica and left more than 30 residents dead. Tropical storm Erika caused mudslides and floods that left nearly 20,000 people without electricity. The storm's damage also suspended flights to and from the nation's airport. The Seventh-day Adventist Church and the Adventist Development and Relief Agency in the Caribbean have found ways to help those who have been affected by the storm. Church leaders from the Adventist Church in the East Caribbean pledged 50,000 Barbados dollars, or more than 24,000 US dollars, to the Dominica government to assist with relief efforts. Workers from ADRA, East Caribbean, and additional volunteers distributed food and water to residents living in shelters. Mental health professionals also provided psychological first aid to residents in need. According to ADRA Dominica's coordinator, Priscilla Prevost, the agency is working with the island's government to help build 10 starter homes for residents who lost everything in the storm. ADRA Dominica is also giving 3 meals a day to more than 100 people living in shelters.
2 wildfires in the U.S. state of California have displaced more than 23,000 residents and destroyed more than 800 homes. Tens of thousands of acres have been burned, and there has been 1 confirmed death as a result of the Butte and Valley fires. More than 7,000 firefighters have been working to contain the fires to prevent further damage. In response to the current state of emergency, the Adventist Community Services Program of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Northern California has launched a fundraiser to relief efforts. So far, ACS has coordinated local response for food, clothing, and essential needs to have residents who have been affected by the wildfires. For more information about the ongoing relief efforts, visit nccSDA.com/fires.
An Adventist university in Germany has opened its classrooms to help address the language needs of migrants and refugees who have made their way to Europe from the Middle East and North Africa. Last week, the Theological Seminary of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Friedenau welcomed its first 4 refugee students in its German language course. The aim of the course is to give immigrants an opportunity to learn a higher level of German. The 9-month course is offered to refugees free of charge.
As the European migrant crisis continues, the president of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in the Trans-European region urged Adventists around the world to unite in prayer. Rafat Kamal told the Adventist Review, "I personally see this challenge as an opportunity to help our guests and us become better people." He went on to say, migrants are frightened and homeless, and many have witnessed unspeakable horrors. We must help them. It is our human and Christian duty. Kamal also encouraged members to support the Adventist Development and Relief Agency and Adventist churches who are assisting refugees.
Nearly 300 Adventist students in the nation of Colombia who attend public universities were recently challenged to become missionaries on their campuses. The 3-day public campus ministries event for the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Inter-America took place in the region of Cundinamarca. During the training, students and 150 professors developed leadership skills and committed to evangelism and service to their churches, communities, and campuses. The event was the official launch of public campus ministries in the territory and was the first time such an event has taken place in a South American country. Jiwan Moon, Director of Public Campus Ministries for the Seventh-day Adventist World Church, encouraged attendees to accept Jesus' challenge to reach the world. He said, "I challenge you to follow Jesus because one day others will follow us, and as they follow us, they will be following Jesus because we have followed him first.
Saturday, September 19th is Pathfinder Day for the Adventist Church. In preparation for the event, Jonathan DeHel, Associate Youth Director for the Seventh-day Adventist Church, shared what makes a Pathfinder institution unique and ways Pathfinders can get involved.
Well, Pathfinder is a unique organization because it has at least two important components in the church. The first one, if we look at the numbers that we have with the Pathfinder Club, is the biggest evangelistic tool that we have in the church. If we could calculate, it's not an easy thing to do, but if we could calculate how many baptisms in the global church comes from the Pathfinder ministry, we will be very close to the 50–60%. So it's unique because it brings a lot of people in the church. And it's not only that, they stay in the church. We have some statistics, and 80–85% of the people that has been involved in Pathfinder ministry, they remain in the church. So it's a tool, you know, to preach the gospel, and it's an extraordinary tool to maintain them. So I think that's one of the things that makes Pathfinder ministry unique. There's many things that they can do. There's different kinds of programs. You can do a program only in the morning. You can do a day-long program. We would like to see the Pathfinders impacting at least two communities, the church community, our community, so they could do something in the church during Sabbath morning program and impacting the rest of the community. They have to get out of the church and tell the community that surrounds us, here we are, and we're here to serve. So I would like to see them doing those two things, and they can become very creative. But those are the main things I would like them to, I would like to see them doing, impacting our church and impacting the community.
Leaders of the Seventh-day Adventist Church recently celebrated a significant anniversary of an Adventist hospital in the nation of Malawi. Many participated in the festivities surrounding the 100th anniversary of the Malululu Adventist Hospital. The 200-bed hospital offers various services and hosts a Loma Linda University field station where doctors come from the United States and participate in a residency program. During the celebration, hospital leaders, including the hospital's CEO, Jason Blanchard, who had his tonsils removed during his childhood at the hospital, recognised Lisnette Chipioza as the hospital's longest-serving employee. Chipioza, who is 109 years old, began working for the hospital in 1925 as a midwife. Since her retirement, she has continued to offer prayer and support to the hospital.
Leaders of an Adventist educational institute in the Philippines recently broke ground for a new facility to accommodate its growing student body. The Scholarship Tower for the Adventist International Institute of Advanced Studies will house approximately 30 students. The tower will house the institute's growing number of self-supporting students who rely on funding to attend school. Dr. Stephen Guptill, president for IAS, said, "The unique feature of this scholarship tower is that all the proceeds from this building will be dedicated to worthy students' scholarships at IAS."
Plans are underway for the nation of Zambia to have its 4th Adventist healthcare facility. Nearly 100 church leaders and members recently attended the dedication ceremony for the future site of the Chilala Adventist Medical Centre. The centre will join the Lusaka Eye Hospital, Lusaka Dental Clinic and Lusaka Adventist Clinic in offering quality health services to Zambians living in or near the nation's capital. Church healthcare leaders say demand for Adventist healthcare has increased in the city of Lusaka. Adventist Health International has covered $500,000 cost during the initial phases of construction. However, construction for the entire centre and the projected opening date will be determined by funding, which is still being collected.
Coming up, see which South Pacific nation recently launched Hope Channel.
But up next, see a report from a global mission pioneer in Botswana.
Every hour spent watching TV may shorten the viewer's life by 21.8 minutes. New research published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine tracked data from 100,000 Australians over the age of 25. They found that those who watch 6 hours a day can expect to live 4.8 years less than a person who does not watch TV, and concluded that watching too much TV is as dangerous as smoking or being overweight. That's a fact. But there's hope. You can extend your life expectancy by the push of a button, the TV remote button, that is. Consider alternative forms of relaxation and entertainment that reduce sedentary time and introduce more physical activity to your family's daily life. So don't wait. Turn off the TV and live a healthier and longer life.
Olá, meu nome é Viviane e falo português. Existem muitos vídeos legais, mas poucos são traduzidos. Você pode ajudar.
Join the Amara translation and caption team today. Amara is easy to learn and fun. You can volunteer in your free time. Join this community today and provide great content in your language.
I can remember as a child growing up in school, my teachers and parents were concerned about my behavior in the classroom. I can recall the countless visits to the principal's office and parental visits to discuss a solution to my issues. At last, I had the opportunity of having a guidance counselor named Ms. Wall, who was assigned to give me all the tools needed for the possibility of a change. When she gave me the proper tools and I applied it to my everyday living, hope became a reality that a change in my behavior was possible. My aunt met with me one day and began to speak to me about my family lineage 6 generations back. She spoke about my great-great-grandfather, great-grandfather, grandfather, and my father and their accomplishments. Then turned to me with great concern and said, if you can't change your behavior, then change your name. Our behavior tells a lot about what we are, who we are, and whose we are. Christ is like our great guidance counselor. He has given us tools for change in our behavior because He wants us to live well. These tools or guidelines assist us to be responsible and develop disciplines for healthful living, outward reforms, and opportunities to live according to the Spirit of God through the Holy Scriptures. Now, no more trips to the principal's office of life. I now live by the guidelines which glorifies God and is manifested by a life well lived.
Welcome back, and now for more news from our global church community.
Many people in the Adventist Church have dedicated their lives to spreading the gospel to parts of the world that are in dire need of hope. Leslie Sitso, a global mission pioneer, shares his experience of introducing people to Jesus in the South African nation of Botswana. Adventist Mission sent this report.
I think these people are really, thirsting for the Word of God, especially for the true Word of God.
Global Mission Pioneers are church planters working to start new congregations of believers, often in difficult areas. The Southern Africa Indian Ocean region of the world has Global Mission Pioneers throughout its territory. These pioneers face many challenges, but also earn the reward of seeing people give their lives to Christ. Some pioneers, like Leslie in the country of Botswana, have not been in their communities very long and need your prayers to help them spread the gospel to the people around them.
I've only been here for a month now. When you first get here, you get mixed feelings because it's an area that is known for worst case scenarios. Alcohol abuse, substance abuse, all kinds of abuse, and you wonder how are you going to achieve the work of the Lord here. I think the people here have had it tough in life, and they're actually looking for someone who can, intervene in their toil, in their daily struggles. And therefore, if you come in and you only want to offer them the Word of God, they don't see you making any impact in their lives. I simply bought a loaf of bread and 1 liter juice, and I brought it to the family, and they gladly received me. So I think it makes a difference in their lives when you constantly show them that you actually care more than for their spiritual needs, but also for the physical needs. You also care for them. they are now willing to listen. They are now willing to listen. And they are wondering, are you really sure what you are teaching is Christianity? Because all we think is that you want us to go to church. And that is just it. You only care about us going to church. And when they see that you are more than interested, in the spiritual needs, you are also interested in how they live, and also their ambitions, they really get encouraged and they marvel at this being branded the gospel of Christ. So I think it's very encouraging when we could, be able to apply such programs into their lives. It's life-changing. It's life-changing. This is my community. I work here, and every day I look forward to coming to this place and interacting with the people who live here, and offering them the message of hope, and just to watch their lives being transformed daily, and seeing the fruits of our work, that it is not really in vain.
Even after just 1 month, Leslie is working with local leaders to improve this community and meet the needs of the people. Recently, he has spent a lot of time volunteering at a local daycare. He teaches the kids, tells them stories, and even prays with them. His goal is to improve the daycare's conditions and help them in any way he can.
One thing that I'll ask the Global Church to pray for is availability of people who are willing to be partakers in this work. You don't need to have a theology degree. What qualifies you the most is availability. It's for you to be available and to be willing to be used by God, and for you to see the need of changing people's lives. I just yearn to see the lives of people being changed, because I know that there's a lot that God wants to do here in the lives of so many people, just like He has impacted my own life. So that's what is keeping me, going day and night.
To learn more about what Adventist Mission Pioneers are doing around the world, visit adventistmission.org.
More than 3 million people in the nation of New Zealand have a chance to learn more about God through quality Christian programming provided by the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Hope Channel New Zealand launched this week with an aerial network that covers 86% of the nation. Leaders of the channel aim to bring hope to every Kiwi home. Hope Channel New Zealand has more.
And finally in the news, the headquarters of the Seventh-day Adventist Church had a special visitor on its daily tour this week. Robert Kennedy, who is 101 years old, visited the headquarters by way of the island of Jamaica. Kennedy told Williams Costa Jr., Communication Director for the Seventh-day Adventist Church, he attributes his longevity to his vegetarian diet, long walks, daily reading routines, and his trust in God. Kennedy has 10 children, all of whom serve as local church leaders.
Coming up, learn a cool strategy to help drive more people to your social media accounts.
But up next, learn how to add free books to your Kindle device.
My brother's unexpected death shocked me into changing my life. A friend of mine said, "Why don't you do a triathlon?" So I swam and rode and ran until I discovered life is more than just human strength. I race because my health matters. I believe because my faith matters. I'm Ed, I'm a Christian. I am an Ironman, and I've discovered my whole life matters.
Many people came and told Jehoshaphat that a vast army was approaching to wage war against him. Alarmed by this news, Jehoshaphat proclaimed a fast for all of Judah. People came from every town in Judah to fast and pray together. We were part of a large group, and Jehoshaphat was earnestly asking God for assistance. Then a man called Jahaziel stood up and said that Jehoshaphat should not be concerned, that it was not his battle, but God's battle.
It was early in the morning when we set out in the desert of Tekoa. We were seriously concerned about facing this huge army, but we were told to have faith. We had also prayed. When our reconnaissance platoon came over the hill, we only saw dead bodies all around. The enemy had apparently turned on each other. Jehoshaphat's prayers had won him the battle, without even having to fight.
Welcome back! For this week's Tech Corner, John Beckett shares a program that allows you to load books on your Kindle that you didn't purchase from Amazon.
Lately, I've really been enjoying reading books on my Kindle. I'd tried a Kindle a few years ago, but I didn't care for it too much since it was hard to read in dim situations. Well, a year or so ago, I got a Kindle with a backlight, and now I really like it. Kindle e-ink readers and other e-readers are a great option for people who just want to read without the distractions that tablets and smartphones bring. The e-ink display can be read in bright sunlight and is very easy on the eyes. E-ink readers also have great battery life and start up quickly to where you were last reading. I have an Amazon Kindle Paperwhite, but other companies like Kobo also make very nice e-readers. One thing I wanted to do after I got my Kindle was load it with books from places other than Amazon. So I dug around online and came across ebook management software called Calibre. For instance, to get a copy of Desire of Ages on your Kindle, download it for free from the egwritings.org website as an EPUB or a Kindle file, put it in Calibre, plug in the Kindle, and click Send to Device. Calibre converts the ebook format as needed. You might also like to change the cover art, the author, etc. in Calibre. Books uploaded by Calibre appear alongside books brought from Amazon. Calibre works on Macs, PCs, and Linux machines. It also supports converting between a wide variety of ebook formats and loading onto many different kinds of devices. Free, out-of-copyright books are also available online from sites like Project Gutenberg. If you really enjoy reading books, but you aren't enjoying it so much on your iPad or your iPhone, you might like to check out an e-reader.
Are you looking for a fun way to build your social media community? For this week's Social Media Report, Angela Taipei shares how you can incorporate social media accounts in your ministry's activities.
As we've watched academies and universities in some parts of the world share their back-to-school activities, we've been inspired by how some of them have incorporated social media into the mix. The most common method of doing this is through photo booths, and these can be as simple or as elaborate as you want. At Berman University, a simple backdrop gave students the opportunity to pose with the friends they hadn't seen for months, as well as make some new ones. Students could be as serious or as creative as they felt. Union College assembled a photo booth together with creative props as a chance for incoming freshmen to take fun pictures with their parents, who are dropping them off at college for the first time. This gave families a lasting memory from this once-in-a-lifetime moment by way of the school's Facebook page. But photo booths aren't just for back-to-school events. The Adventist University in Argentina
used a creative Instagram frame during their week of prayer to take pictures of students attending the event. The great thing about frames is you can be sure to include information like your account's handle or any hashtags you're promoting at the time. You may find that having a monthly or quarterly photo booth at your church gives members the opportunity to stay and socialize with each other instead of leaving quickly. And it's a great way to get visitors involved as well. So when you're planning your church's next social event, see if you can slip in a chance for social media to be a part of the special day.
And now, let's turn to David Trim for a look at Adventist history. This week, learn about the founding of an Adventist school in Denmark.
Welcome to This Week in Adventist History. For the whole of this week, September 13 through 19, in 1887, the first camp meeting in the U.S. state of West Virginia was held at Parkersburg, attended by around 125 people. On the third day, September 15, the West Virginia Conference was organized with 92 church members. Today, there are over 2,000 Seventh-day Adventists in the state of West Virginia. 21 years after the start of that camp meeting, on September 13, 1908, Danish Adventist leader Erik Andersen founded the first Adventist secondary school in Denmark in a large villa in Skodsborg, 16 kilometers or 10 miles north of Copenhagen. In October 1930, the school was transferred to its present site near Vejlefjord on the east coast of the Danish mainland. Today known as Vejlefjordskolen, it is the main school operated by the Danish Union of Churches. A red letter day in Seventh-day Adventist history. On September 15, 1874, John Nevins Andrews sailed from Boston for Liverpool, England, en route to Switzerland as the first Seventh-day Adventist missionary sent outside North America. He was accompanied by his two children, Charles and Mary, whose mother had died in 1872. Both J.N. Andrews and his daughter Mary were to die of tuberculosis contracted while serving as missionaries in Europe, Mary in 1878 and John in 1883. Like the Apostle Paul, they poured their lives out as an offering. That was This Week in Adventist History.
Thanks for watching ANN. Join us next week for more news from the headquarters of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
In the meantime, join our global conversation on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can connect with the Adventists worldwide through more stories, photos, and videos. Visit Facebook/Adventist News, Twitter @Adventist Church, and Instagram @Adventist Church.
Our good news for this week comes from the book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 3. The passage says, "Long ago the Lord said to Israel, I have loved you, my people, with an everlasting love. With unfailing love I have drawn you to myself."
That's our program for this week, and remember, you can always visit news.adventist.org for daily news and videos. Until next time, God bless.
Bye for now.